Thank you for joining me in this webinar, and also thank you Edil and Kamzat to invite me in this webinar. My topics today is just to planning the cases through vision of SoftSmile, and I want to tell you about my experience. Obviously, I start a lot of years ago with different software. Obviously, right now the shortage for the planning aligners make a lot of development, and also now make the planning much easier compared to the past. But right now I want to explain you a little bit my point of view, and also to talk with Vision about some options. Okay, right now I share my screen. Okay, now this is, before starting, this is a very tough case, and was the beginning. I want to talk to you about, that was the preview, default scan, and the doctor talked to me about they want to take off this one, and also they want to use mini implant to move it to canine because they have a lot of rotation, is more than 60 degrees, and also a lot of stripping because they want to adjust also the canine and also the two lateral. Okay, and now at the end, this was my finished case, but I want to tell you later on. Now we can talk about all of the planning. I go through the planning. Now I save this one and I come back this one in later on. Okay, now we can go in the case. When it's possible, because in Italy it's not useful to have a CBCT, but sometimes we have, because in Italy we have a lot of restriction about the to take the CBCT for aligner cases, but in that case we have, and we import the CBCT during the patient data, and this is the situation. The doctor want to adjust the class 2 here. I little bit the class 2 here, but this is, I adjust the class 2 just for make IPR here and move a little bit distal. And also I put this one in distal, but in that case, just when the case is just one side, I like to work with protocol 100%. 100% means 100% movement for the second molar, and after that 100% for the first molar and second premolar, first premolar, and after that to try to close the space with canine and also the incisor. And also just to adjust the midline a little bit, just to keeping a little bit the incisor to adjust the midline very well. And that's it. Okay, basically we can go. Usually when I plan the case, I check before everything. And also sometimes I add this one just to check the interference, the occlusion. And also before starting, I look, for example, I like to have, when I start to distalize, I check the rotation, and I'd like to have the two cuspid in according to the midline, parallel to the midline, just to stay like this. Okay. And also this one like this, just to make everything. Okay, that is and I work, but basically this side, I work like, I move a little bit, just 0.2. Okay, and also I put this one, oh, sorry, 0.4 IPR, and also I make I go here and just to make the auto IPR, just to have, just 0.5, and now try to work like this one. Okay, also I check immediately, look, just to have interference, but I check at the end, and it's possible no IPR here. And also sometimes when I'm like this, I like to change here the inch point, just to move a little bit like this, go like this, look, I check the occlusion every time, like just to not have interference. I like the canine very vertical. I like the canine which is vertical. And also when I look the canine, I like the canine a little bit open, not just vertical, but vertical when I look in the left side and or right side, but in the front I like to have the canine a little bit open. Okay, now I go to the other side. Look, that's why I add every time this function, just to check interference. Go also in the lower jaw, just the lower jaw is good enough. I need to move a little bit this one. So movement is possible to make also when we make distalization, because rotation, distal rotation is in according to the distalization, and that is good enough. Okay, yeah, here, okay. Check also the bone. Okay, now I go like this. Just to okay, upper jaw and lower jaw. Now I'm gonna check the frontal view. Okay, and this is the in the front. Like to have open here a little bit like this. Oh, sorry. Here, everything. And now I go in the lower just to check this one. I want to adjust canine and jaw and look the overjet, overbite, and the speed curly is a little bit down, and you need to align a little bit this one. Let me check some alignments. I like to use the hinge all the time just to manage. Okay, it's one. Okay, side like this. Okay, I want to go this. I like to check the at the moment. This is let me check. Okay, side this. Okay, check it. Move a little bit. I go forward. Change the every time I change the axis, just the relationship, because I like to add a lot of different type of movement in my box, and just to have a check this one. Okay, just to stay check the bone. Okay, okay. When we move the tooth like this, like to close the space, we can increase a little bit the overbite and overjet, because most of the time when just is not body movement in the intrusion extrusion, but it's just a combine of the movement. Now I want to take off this one and also look like this one and this one just to have. Okay, I want to just the rotation. Now I need to close this again, the upper jaw. That's it. This one, canine and incisor in the same plan. This one is a little bit okay. Check this one. Check. Now I need to close a little bit this one. Okay, now I want to increase a little bit. Sleeping gear, just to go a little bit up, go down a little bit. Is that 1.4? Okay, now I move a little bit this one. Move a little bit this one. I want to create a space just to close a little bit up. Okay, in the incisor. Okay, let me check. If I have a chance to just to close a little bit. Take off all the wheel. Okay, now I move a little bit this one. I don't want collision. Okay. Now I want to check the lower. I want to check the collision also on the lower. Okay. Now movement here and a bit here. This is 0.2 degrees, 2 degrees. Okay. Okay, now I go to the plan just to check stepping. Exclusion, exclusion is 1.5. Okay. Now, okay. Let me check with the auto adjustment, the optimization of the plan. You have to understand the best every time I use the optimization of the plan just to check the difference between the standard plan and say 13 and 8. Okay, but now I want to move like I want to change this one. Let's wait 1 second. Okay, now I will check movement. Okay, no, okay. I work like this one, maybe I put 100% 8. Mm, the standard the distalization is 50%, and you have this 5 to 6, 11 again. You put this one after 5. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 6. Okay, 6 and 6. Okay, you check a little bit. Okay, now I don't move this one on the beginning. No movement in the beginning. Okay, okay, no movement. In the beginning, I was like this and don't want movement. And just to, okay, but now I want to make this one in a different staging, like the canine first. Let's check all the plan. Okay, now I want to put in this one. One canine is this one. Let me check. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Let me check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Mhm. I want to adjust very well the movement with the 4, just to have all of the movement the same amount of movement. Okay, okay. Let me check the lower jaw. Okay, lower jaw is very easy. Usually, I make the plan like in that way. I start with the molar, but also like step by step. Just like okay, just to have same sequence. Okay. At the end, when I finish this one, I don't move all of the seat in the same time, but just canine for the first movement. And at the end, maybe when the canine is almost ready, I move is also more like it's not exactly the same, the frog staging, but it's almost the same. I can move first the canine because if you move the 6 in the same times, probably you lost some movement of the distalization, and that is not so good. And when the canine is also at the end, it's possible to adjust the incision. Okay, it is cool, it's good enough. Now I want to make I want to check a little bit, it's possible to switch a little bit something. Okay, good. Now we take off something like this one, okay, spaces, okay, and now we prepare the attachment. For the attachment, uh, usually for the when I like to use horizontal also for the distalization when it's possible, bigger, okay, and copy and paste. When it's possible, close to the incisional edge. Okay. The other side also. Even this. Okay. 9 also. And I like a little bit more bigger. I don't like the optimized attachment. I use just square when it's possible. And for the incisor, I put this one all the time. I use the same like the extrusion. I'm sorry. Okay, this one extrusion. Also saying like very into the incisional edge, close to, and also a little bit pierced. Okay, okay. And then that one. Okay, okay, okay. 1.95 to 0.95. Okay, let me check in the lower jaw. Okay, let me check. Over jaw, check. Mhm. Okay, adjust a little bit also the lower jaw. I want to put the intrusion. One, okay, let's check one, two, okay. The end. Okay, okay, this one and this one. Okay, the first time is canal. Let me check canal. Canal intrusion from the beginning. Okay, okay. Extrusion from the beginning. Okay, let me check this one. Okay, I want to put the extrusion intrusion all the time at the end when all the all the before I like to align everything before starting the intrusion. Okay, one like to adjust the canal first. Let me check. Okay, like first canine at the end this one. Okay, good. Now I put let me check the movement here. Rotation with this 11 degrees. Okay, put an attachment here. Okay, every time I put vertical all the time when it's possible because I like to. Okay, this one overlay. This one is no rotation. Okay, no one, one, two, two. Okay, no. This one rotation 11 is put rotation. Oh, vertical. rotation here? No. Okay. And also put here is keeping or not. Let me check the other one. Okay. Yes, this one, and yeah, I put something. And I put this horizontal one for the intrusion part. Okay, put this one. Check a little bit up. Okay, the last, the last is just this one. I put also the gingiva because the gingiva is just uh, I need minimum 2 millimeter here. Okay, to okay. No, it's not possible. Also, if in here, let me check. Let me check. No, it's not possible. Okay, this one. Okay, just one. I try to put one here. Okay, okay, okay. Now the case is finished. And this is the preview, like you have first the distalization of the premolar and molar, and also the intrusion here in the lower jaw, and finally canine first, and at the end the incisor, just to put everything in a very nice way. Okay, this is my my daily work. I try to work like this just to check everything, and also at the end check the occlusion, just to obviously from my point of view I use check the occlusion, but not more, not the same like when I go to the refinement, but now is an active aligner, and obviously the tooth position change a lot, and we have a lot of interference. But this is very important. Check the occlusion in the refinement just to have to assure we have no big interference, no maybe inclination plane, just to uh, make the occlusion not stable, and that's it. But basically, work like this. Finally, I save everything and I send to the doctor for checking. And if the doctor like, I go to the post processing, and if not, the doctor told me about some different type of changing. That's it. But basically, I like to work manually. I use also some function like with the artificial intelligence, that the art shape and so on. But when the case is a little bit very clear, I work by hand, step by step, and I like to check the 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 staging just to make everything in the right way, and to be sure the movement is predictable, and that's it, like this thing. And also check through the bone just to upper and lower, just to check everything. Okay, I go a little bit. 1 second in the other case I told you before. If you have question, please. I'm open. I'm here for you. Just very tough case, just for you to understand the option to use this software. Okay, that's that. Just your question. This was the beginning. The beginning is a lot of interesting. Just no space here, and also the inclination of the two lateral is very complex. But also in the lower jaw, these two. If you look the movement table and you go here, you have look more than 7 degrees and 60, more than 65 degrees is a lot. And the doctor told me, I want to take off this one, and they want to put 2 mini implants here and work with mini implant to adjust the rotation. And also I want to adjust the position of this one because this one is here. And you need first to create space for this one. Basically, move this one first. Sorry, this one first. And move a little bit this one. Expand here. And also use a lot of IPR. Look, 0.5, 0.5, 0.5, 4, 5, 5, 5, 6, 5. And just to arrive almost here to have the chance to make this one. And also you have the bone also. But obviously, this is a very tough case because you have extraction. And that's it. Okay. Oh, question? You think? Okay. Too much attachment. Yes, of course. Basically, for soft movement, for example, extrusion or rotation, just if you have 0.1, you need attachment. 1 degrees, you need attachment. For some tools like canine, premolar, in the lower premolar is like a very smoothing surface. There's no chance for rotation, and that's it. And that is why I usually for some movement is not possible without attachment. Just for example, inclusion, don't need attachment, and some change of inclination when you change the inclination of the lower, but sometimes also you need attachment because step by step the engagement between the aligner and the surface of the tooth is not stable. You see some play, or you need to put attachment or increase the cutting line. Increase the cutting line means not scalloped, but just a straight line, 2 millimeter over the gingiva. You have the possibility to take off attachment. How to adjust the height of the attachment? Okay, when you select the attachment, you have all of the detailed attachment, the dimension. And if you click plus and minus, you are able to modify all of the size of the attachment, the thickness, weight, higher, and that's it. Yes, yes. Every time extrusion and intrusion work very well when all of the tooth is already aligned. Because extrusion, you increase the space. Extrusion, increase space, you make some space between the tooth, so that is not a problem. But when you make intrusion, you lost space. That's why you need to move the tooth, intrusion, extrusion, where the tooth is already in the right way, in the right position, like mesial and distal in touch, because it's easy for the doctor to make IPR and everything. But every time I work with intrusion, extrusion at the end. At the end, obviously, sorry, sometimes real is not real intrusion, extrusion, but it's just when you change some inclination, is a relative extrusion or relative intrusion. Depend of the case, but every time is at the end. We use CT splice or only the rendered volume. Okay, I'm not sure about that question. A slice, you mean cutting plan? Okay, no, I don't use cutting plan. I think it's possible. Now I have the SoftSmile team here, and it's possible for one of the guys to talk about that. But obviously, also this question about the intrusion extrusion. Yes, I make intrusion at the last. It's possible to select in the staging. Click with the right in the mouse, select the tooth, like I don't know, 3 or 22, where you need, and select which type of movement you need to put at the end, or maybe more, or at the beginning. But in that case, intrusion, you click at the end, and the software switch the movement of intrusion at the end of the movement. First, adjust everything, inclination, rotation, at the end, like the intrusion, extrusion. Yes, yes, specific movement with tooth, yes, it's possible to select each timeline, yes, in the timeline. Also, you have a chance to, when you're planning, also in the planning, when you click in the tools, also you click with the right button in the mouse, in the tools, and you see new movement, and you, for example, use just rotation and click again with the mouse, with the right button in the mouse, and to click forward, and the software split the two movements. First rotation, and first one rotation, and second one forward, split in two different directions. That is another option. Is another option. Yes, a little bit. Yes, it's strong for the patient to wear the aligner with a lot of attachment, but also if you use the new material like triple material, PTU material is very flexible and is not so difficult to wear aligner to on and off the aligner in the mouth. But obviously, for the patient is a little bit of trouble. But when you have, for example, one thing for distalizing case, uh, in the case I show you some few minutes ago, the anterior is a little bit fine. You had a lot of mistake about the position of the tooth is a little bit fine. And for the patient is not so trouble to waiting 3, 4, 5 months to adjust the posterior. And it's possible for you, for example, to add the attachment just at the end of the distalization. Obviously, add the attachment during the treatment is not so easy. Then the same is not easy like when you put the attachment all in one at the beginning, because you need to pay attention in that. But it's possible just to which attachment, not put all of the attachment at the same time. That's it. Yes, of course. That is a good question. I know sometimes for make the planning, you need to combine the result and the number of aligners. That, yes, I know this is also a issue for me, but thinking that staging, planning and staging is the main one. If you compress a lot the movement, one of the options is to make a lot of stripping, IPR, a lot of IPR, because to move the tooth, you need space. First of all, space. If you don't have space, one of the big problem is the tooth doesn't move, and they move just in one direction. They intrude a little bit because they don't have space. That is, you have just two ways, or a lot of stripping or different type of staging. There's no other way. Okay, okay. If you don't have any other question, thank you for joining. Oh, yes, of course. Always, I recommend to don't prepare all of the cases, but just subdivide the case in what depend of is the, the the steps. But every time in 10 step and other 10 and other 10, obviously depend of the distance between you and doctor, or maybe when the doctor work alone, obviously. Uh, the question is uh, if you usually the aligner lost. This is not my my point of view, but it's we we have some article in the some article around the world about that. The aligner uh, talk talk um, the aligner lost more or less 25-30% of the movement in the upper jaw, and sometimes 40-45% of the movement in the lower jaw because it's different type of bone. If you print 10 aligner, you have much control in the lost movement. If you print 30, 40, 25, 30 aligner, you don't have control in the lost movement. You lost 5, 6, 7 aligner at the end. That's why it's the best to print just 10 aligner, because maximum you lost 1 or 2 aligner, and you are able to, before, to send the other 10 to adjust a little bit the planning and go forward. Okay, from the 3 metal appliance. Okay. Hi guys. Thank you for joining me. Okay, this is the question with this guy Nicholas is I think is from the guy to SoftSmile, just to slice. Oh, thank you. No, is thank you for John in the webinar. It's just for share something and talk together about that. Okay, guys. See you maybe next time in another webinar talking about different type of topic. Or maybe if you want something, send email to the group for the SoftSmile team, and they talk to me about some different type of topic. Okay, I guess see you next time.